With my excitement for the upcoming release of Little Nightmares 3, I have replayed Little Nightmares 1. In this video, I'll be talking about the game and how it still holds up after 8 years. I didn't play Little Nightmares 1 when it was first released, but I played it before the second game released, and let me tell you, that was one of the best and unique horror experiences I've ever had. So how does the game compare now, in 2025? Dude, this game still rocks. Developed by Tarsier Studios and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, Little Nightmares is a puzzle platform horror game that is quiet and a haunting experience that sticks with you long after the credits roll. Even now, the 3D side-scrolling gameplay of it is still amazing. For me, it was a unique take on this classic side-scrolling gameplay. You can move up or down in the environment in opposed to just left to right. This really brought more depth to the gameplay and opened up scenarios where the creativity of the devs could flourish. You control a little girl in a yellow raincoat named Six. Her movements are slow but has tight controls. She can run, jump and interact with objects around her, like pulling and pushing items or climbing bookshelves or cupboards. As you can see, Six is tiny, so this aspect of the game makes everyday items like a chair, a book and even a toilet roll a piece of a puzzle or an obstacle. The slow movement of the gameplay makes some boss encounters more challenging, as some obstacles or puzzles need precision movement like jumping to pull a lever, swinging off from a giant piano, or even small traversing objects like bookshelf or a table. At first glance, Little Nightmares might look like a simple puzzle platformer, but as you descend deeper into the maw where the game is set, it becomes clear. This is a world built on fear, horror and greed, and it shows in its environments. Plus, using items in environments to solve puzzles satisfy my Resident Evil infused brain. I love puzzles in horror games, and Little Nightmares definitely delivered on that front. Nothing too difficult, but it was a gameplay loop that served its purpose. Talking about environments, everything in Little Nightmares is exaggerated and disturbing. The art design is one of the best parts and really does help to set the mood even now. Having a unique art style will always make a game timeless. If they opted for a more realistic looking visuals, then it wouldn't have aged this well. The designs on the chefs, the bloated guests and the lady is just super memorable. Like I said, the environments were great, but what makes them so good? The whole diorama feeling. Because you're looking into the rooms rather than being part of it makes it so that these places look like a diorama. At the same time, it was a unique take on a side-scrolling game and even now it stands out. In Little Nightmares, you play as a girl named Six in this horror-filled world, but it's not just horror for the sake of it. The game tells a silent story about childhood trauma, powerlessness and hunger, both physically and emotionally. There is no dialogue and everything is told by the visuals. The tone of the game really does elevate the theme and the story. You'll see some dark shit in your playthrough, especially this. When I first saw that, it stuck with me and I knew what I was getting myself into. Following Six from beginning to end and seeing her hunger grow every passing minute was sad. In this world, especially in the maw where the game is set, they consume meat or children for their greed and gluttony. While the guests on the underwater vessel feast on children, their food, the actual children suffer and are dying because of their hunger. Visually, it is disturbing, but metaphorically, I took it as a social critique and a commentary on how the younger generation is treated. Once being a young adult myself, I can understand the pressure set by the societies, trying to follow the norm. Like in this game, these children are eaten and that is exactly what is happening in our world. People with experience in work, entertainment, sports, whatever it is, use younger people for their greed and success, and once every ounce of juice and taste is taken out of them, they spit it out. And Little Nightmare encapsulates this topic really well. I can relate and understand the story even more now. I don't know if the devs intended the themes to represent a serious issue in our society, but it is what I took from it. Anyway, back to the game. The loneliness and trauma Six experiences shapes this whole game. Her own hunger grows more disturbing as the game progresses, and by the end, I started to question if she's really the victim. She started to eat everything in desperation, raw meat, a rat, even those little gnomes. She was slowly becoming like one of the guests. The characters in this game aren't much, but they are really memorable. 6 is iconic now with her yellow raincoat. The gnomes are creepy in a cute way. The guests are disturbing, but the chefs, man, I actually had nightmares about them. The sounds they made? Yeah, nightmare fuel. The blind janitor too, all of these people were unique and gruesome in different ways. And the lady, the person who controls the maw and keeps this whole operation running. What happens with her and 6 at the end was super shocking, but all of these boss encounters for these antagonists were well thought out and engaging to play. Little Nightmares 1 also features a story DLC called Secrets of the Maw that connects to the events of the main game as it runs concurrently with it. In this DLC, you play as a kid who is a prisoner trying to escape the Maw. Like 6, he's desperate and witnesses some disturbing things. I really enjoyed this short companion and how it connects to the main game. And I don't want to give anything away because it ties to the main game's ending. The gameplay was the same, and to see a different perspective on the events was refreshing. Even at first, the side-scrolling camera movement being left to right that we were used to in the main game was changed to reflect this DLC's story and tone. It was right to left, and I loved that. It showed that even if 6 and the kid were on different paths, their story was similar and reflected one another. This DLC really did make the whole experience richer for me. Overall, Little Nightmares is still an amazing experience. Even in 2025, the game holds up as one of the best horror platformers ever made. The movement can be sluggish and challenging to control at times, yes, but that is the point. It's designed in such a fashion that complements the story the devs were trying to tell. If you haven't picked this game up by now, stop the video, buy it and play it. You won't regret it. The whole package of Little Nightmares and its DLC is so worth playing through, just in time for the third game, and my score for Little Nightmares is a solid 8.5 out of 10. But with the story DLC, the whole experience bumps it up to a 9 out of 10. That story DLC really did make the main game even better. I will play the second game really soon, which I have never played, but let me know down below. What did you think of Little Nightmares 1 and its DLC? How does it compare to the second game? As always, thanks for watching and I'll see everyone on the next video.